I can tell you now, if you don't like chaos, you're probably not going to like this video. This is going to probably be one of the lowest effort videos I ever make. But join me as I do my last square of my crochet temperature blanket, and then I'll let you guys take a look. But first, coffee. All right, I got my coffee. Now to get started on my blanket. Alrighty, last square of 2025. And I absolutely hate writing 5s. In case you were wondering, that's my least favorite number to write. So here comes 2026, and I am happy to just start writing 6s instead of 5s. Coffee. Today, our low is 12. Again, getting a phone call, but it's junk. And our high is 24 degrees. Woohoo! Which means my highest high for December, let's see, 35, 45, 42, 45, 52. It's probably the 19th. 52 degrees on the 19th. I remember that. And then our lowest temperature, we've got 2 degrees here. I think that's the lowest it ever got. So 2 degrees on the 14th and 15th. And you will see, I did this out of curiosity actually. You'll see I have nothing else over here because I never planned for 2026. I don't even know if I'm going to do anything for 2026. I have ideas and I might, I don't know. But I started keeping track just out of curiosity of what the highest highs and lowest lows were. So for January, we had 46 as the highest temperature, -8 as the lowest. In February, it was 54 and 1. In March, it was 82 and 6, which is wild to me. That's such a temperature jump. In April, 82 and 20. In May, it was 85 and 43. In June, it was 105 and 41. It's amazing the difference the temperatures get over the course of a month. In July, it was 106 and 61. In August, 96, 48. In September, 86, 49. In October, 81, 32. In November, 66, 18. And in December, this month, we've seen temperatures as high as 52 and as low as 2. So it's really funny to me to think that some of the mildest like weather changes and like temperature change shifts has been like either in the thick of summer or thick of winter, which makes sense, of course, but it's just funny because we enjoy the temperatures more in the in-betweens. But whatever. Anyway, so no, I don't have any plans for next year yet. This I'm crossing off, which means I am officially done writing in here for 2025. I started in 2022, and it's just funny how I then continued. I was only logging high temperatures for 2 years, because in 2023 I did the same thing. High temperatures only. And then this was, is this 24? I think this is 2024, because what happened was I ripped a page out and redid the thingy. Because then the next page is 2025. I redid the color scheme because I wasn't happy with it. And honestly, I still wasn't super happy with how this one turned out. This is probably my least favorite blanket. My favorite so far being, well, I really liked how 2023 turned out. But I don't know. This one might be, 2025 might be my new favorite because, I mean, just look at all of these colors. I mean, look at this. It's amazing. I got glue on it. So, here are my colors. Here's what's left outside of what I'm just about to do, which we've got, here's what's left of hundreds, 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, teens, singles, and below 0, like 0 and below. So obviously I didn't use hardly any of this or this. Definitely used more of this than this though. And I even didn't really touch this one. These two don't usually get used a whole lot at all. And I'm trying to think. So what is it? 12. So this one, and 20s. This one. So my last square is going to have a green center and a yellow outside. Just making sure I'm in frame because I can't see. You guys are actually over my head. Like, over my head. Like, I have to tippy toe and look and... Oh, yep, you're fine. Okay. I've always wanted a blanket like this with the border on it. I always thought that was so pretty. But I have come to discover that I don't like doing it on a daily basis. I would drag my feet about getting these squares done. And sometimes, actually quite often, usually about once a week, I'd have one day where I just did not do it. And the next day I'd have to do 2 squares. And there were probably like a handful. I could count on one hand how many occasions there were where I actually fell 3 to 4 days behind. Maybe even 5 on one occasion. I think it was like 3 or 4 pretty much for the most part, if I ever did. And it wasn't often, but it was just the fact that I really liked how the blanket was turning out that motivated me to continue, because there was just something about doing this many color changes that I just really didn't like. Which is sort of funny, because what ends up happening is by the end of the year, I could be totally mentally checked out of doing these squares or doing this pattern or whatever, but then the process of stopping makes me weirdly sad. So not doing this next year will probably just make me... Next year. I say next year like it isn't tomorrow. Not doing this tomorrow will probably make me weirdly sad. Which makes me wonder, should I just keep doing the same thing? And then I think about all those days I dragged behind. It's like, no, I should not. Whoopsies. Dropping it. So, I had thought about doing just a 2-row square. Same kind of thing, highs and lows. I don't mind doing the 2 color changes. It's just when I get to that 3rd color, I'm like, oh, I really just don't want to do that last row, even though it's the easiest row. And the fact that it is the easiest row has been the thing that gets me like, okay, it's just another minute. It's just one more row. I don't know what makes it such a mental burden to me. But, and it's not even that serious. And I actually really enjoy doing it. That's the weird thing. Like, I like it. I just don't want to do it. Like, I like doing it. Once I start doing it, I'm happy. It's just getting myself there. I really can't explain it. I'm a weirdo. So, I have really enjoyed having the dual color sets of colors throughout the year, though. Because I did, my first year, 2022, I did colors all year long. Like from red to purple, just transitioning. And so it was in the winter, it was the cooler colors. In the summer, it was the warmer colors. I really liked that. But I hated that the blanket was only colorful as a whole, and it wasn't kind of colorful throughout. And I thought maybe doing highs and lows would change that. Like, oh, maybe that'll make it so that it's more colorful throughout. But then as I mapped it out on my computer, just out of curiosity to see what that year would look like using those temperatures, I'm like, wow, this is not all that impressive. I want more colors. And then the idea occurred to me, well, what if I did darker, richer colors for warmer temperatures and the like more paler colors, desaturated colors for the cooler temperatures. And that way it's colorful throughout. And then I was like, I don't know how I feel about this because that might be confusing on my eyeballs. I don't know if I care about that because I actually quite like how this blanket's turning out. It's doing basically exactly what I wanted. It's colorful all year long, which I love. Coffee break. So, there's my last square for 2025. Get my blanket back up. You can see, I mean, like, if I do a blanket next year, just because we're in a financially really tight place, and I mean really tight, I'm probably just going to continue using these colors. Somebody on TikTok recommended doing a temperature snake, which I've never done before, which would be kind of a hilarious thing to do. I mean, I could. It would be hilariously long. Maybe I will, because then it doesn't require much yarn and then I don't have to buy yarn. What I originally wanted to do was, over the course of 2025, invest in getting, like, every month I was going to buy 2 colors, if I could, of wool yarn in colors that I needed for next year from a local shop. I've got a shop literally minutes down the road, which had me super excited. And I was like, oh, it'll give them money. I'll get the yarn that I need. I'll buy the wool that I need. And then I could make a blanket, like temperature blanket, that if I wanted, I could felt, and it could be a type of rug. And I still want to do that. But I don't have like $400 for wool yarn. Over the course of the year, I realized, wow, I don't have the extra money here and there to do this. And so it just literally never happened. So maybe maybe, Lord willing, I can do it in the future, but it won't be this year. And so maybe I'll do a temperature snake. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do another blanket. I have an idea for another blanket. Super basic that should hopefully not bother my soul like this one did. But I still have no regrets doing this. Like, this is super pretty and I love it. And I'm pausing for a minute to listen to my kids because they sound like they're having issues. I want my kids to be able to work things out on their own, but there comes a time where obviously I have to step in. But I don't think I have to. But voices escalate quickly sometimes. Well, a lot of times. We're still learning. So yeah, this last row, I really like this join too because it's strong. Now when I did my temperature blanket for 2022, which let me go grab that and show you. So here's my temperature blanket for 2022. And it's getting frilly and fuzzy and it's seen some things. But it's so plush and soft, and it's one of my favorite blankets to actually throw on my lap. And it's funny because as it wears, it stretches a bit, so it's actually bigger than it used to be. And some of that, a lot of that, has to do with this. The fact that there's such a gap when you stretch at them. And that's not a problem. In fact, when it drapes, it's actually quite pretty. It lends to like a laciness sort of effect. And this is also, let me flip this around. This is the blanket I was talking about in terms of the first colorful blanket I did in 2022. So I did high temperatures only, and it's colorful, but only as a whole. Also, everybody on TikTok said it looked like an orange submarine. And I love this blanket. This was the first year I did a temperature blanket. Sadly, my grandmother, who was the one who taught me how to crochet, I was really excited to show her the finished blanket when it was done, but sadly she passed away before I finished. She almost made it. She made it to November, near the end of November. So that little heart square is the day she passed away. But, and I think she'd be proud to know I've done this. This is my 4th temperature blanket I'll be finishing this year. But as much as I love this, it's, the gappiness makes it so that it's not as sturdy. So like it's pretty, it's lacy, but Whereas with this blanket, look how sturdy that is. If I pull at it, the weight of the blanket won't cause severe gapping, and the blanket should hold its structure a lot better, which tells me this blanket does not need really a secure border around it because, I mean, it's already bordered. So the only thing I'm thinking I might do to this blanket this year is add a reverse single crochet around the edges just to make it pretty when it's done. That's all I'm planning to do to it. Let me pull you down just a wee bit more, because I think I have a knack for working down here, and I want to make sure you're in frame, because I have this knack for making people not see anything, because I work at the bottom of the frame instead of working in the center of the frame, and that's really frustrating for people, I'm sure. Coffee break. Okay. So, I wasn't kidding when I said this is a low effort video. And then, of course, no, that's Fluffkin. Fluffkin wants to talk now. You done? So this is just the final border row. I actually like how this turns out. And I don't know. Like I said, I have a weird love-hate relationship where I actually enjoy doing this, but I drag my feet about doing it. I think it's just a matter of priorities. When I enjoy doing it, but I just don't want to have to do it, even if I enjoy it, if that makes sense. And it's not like I have to, but I make myself have to. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. A lot of people are like, well, if you don't want to do it, then just don't do it. Yes and no. To a degree, it's good to have the self-discipline to do things even if you don't want to do them, and even if you don't inherently enjoy them, in terms of just being self-disciplined. And self-discipline is not something that I'm good at. Self-control, self-discipline, it's something that the Lord is steady working on in my life. And this is one of those things where it becomes an exercise, a very small exercise in self-discipline. So, yesterday, I've been telling myself all year long, add the year to the blank squares. And yesterday, I finally did it. So, on New Year's Eve, I finally put the year on my blanket. And I'll show you that in a bit. I was meaning to do it all year long and just never got around to it because I didn't really care. I'm trying to make it so you can see what I'm doing. Whoops. But, sliding door. My brain just totally farted. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. But I finally got around to doing it yesterday because I was like, I don't feel like doing this tomorrow because I got to put the border on and I have the time, so I'll just do it now. It's one of those things. Why do they do that? I mean, I guess because they're kids. Duh. Anyways. Last square. And I never really fish in these ends like super crazy. I usually just slide them in one way, and for the most part that holds. Every once in a great while it doesn't for whatever reason. Maybe something gets cut too short for some dumb reason or something, but if I ever end up with a problematic spot, even though this is acrylic yarn, you can still felt the tails in. So like if the tail ever comes out and never wants to stay, just grab a felting needle and just felt it in and it stays. It won't come out. In fact, it just kind of morphs to the thing. Where's the... I was looking for that. It's like I thought there was another tail. There it is. Is there another white tail? Yep, there it is. I cut this out too. So, speaking of tails. Here is officially all of my tails. I guess if you want to exclude the border, because whatever. Here are all my tails for 2025. I wasn't sure if it would fit in this jar, because usually this jar is full by the end of the year. But I've been really packing it in and compressing it, and I still clearly have plenty of room. So obviously not an issue. But I don't know what to do with these tails. What was it? Oh, this is really dusty now. Look how dusty it is. Oh gosh, that's terrible. I'm gonna dust it off real quick. This is one of those solid reminders to like dust your wall stuff, because this just hangs off a frame off my wall, and you know what, I bet. Oh yeah, there's these things on my wall haven't been dusted probably since 2023. So, whew, that's gross. Okay, that might explain my allergy issues too. I've got frames with a thick layer of dust on the wall. So, reality check. Some people in life actually do forget those things exist, and I'm one of them apparently. So, looks like I've got some dusting to do going into 2026. I forgot to dust the wall stuff. You know what? And all of the ceiling too could stand to wipe down with the broom. Some of those corners collect a couple little tiny obscure cobwebs. Yeah, that's why I'm out of my groove. And the door frame on top of the door frame, like above the door frame. Wow, I'm out of it. Anyway, sorry. I'm just realizing how negligent I've been to like certain areas of my house. Like, yeah, like my curtains here are slightly dusty on top. I need to clean the curtains. Good Lord. I don't look up. That's my problem. I forget to look up when I'm cleaning. I clean everything down and I forget to look up. Whew. All right. Spring cleaning time is going to be happening in the winter this year. Here's my 2023 colors that I loved. A lot of people said this blanket reminded them of, Van Gogh's Starry Night, and I agree, and that's probably why I love it so much. These are my two favorite colors, yellow and blue. And I love how these, this was super cool. Putting this in an ornament, and I just wrote 2023 on it just so I remembered. But this is literally all my tails from 2023. I don't think I did anything with 2024. I think I threw them away because honestly, I hated 2024. I didn't just dislike it. I kind of hate it. Like, that blanket's hiding in my basement, stored away, and I'm like, I think one of my kids said they liked it, and I said they could have it. Like, and I never did take it back out for them. Maybe I should do that, because I'm like, yeah, I'm mad at it. I spent an entire year doing a blanket that I think would have been prettier in different colors. But I've got all of these tails now. And it's sort of fun because instead of just being all of the colors, it's all of the colors intermixed with all of the border colors. So it's like, it's very interesting. I wonder if I should try to create... One of the things I've been wanting to do is take the tails and create a sort of almost like yarn tail mosaic picture. So So I wonder if I should do that. Almost like, think like Van Gogh style art, how it's very lines and moving and stuff. Something similar. Take this and just see what I create with it. Even if it doesn't inherently create a picture, just some sort of like yarn tail mosaic. I might do that for funsies. So that's probably what I'll use those tails for the heck of it, but why not? But look at that. Did the last one, and then I'll show you what said I was going to show you was the year. And I know it's upside down. I'll show you it upright in a minute. In fact, I could probably just do this. There we go. Yeah, I don't like how it gapped so much right there, but I was so just over this blanket in terms of just all the things. I was in a mood yesterday and it reflected in this gap. I was like, I had already fixed this too once, and then I was like, I'm not moving this again. So it's a little gappy in a weird way. And if that bothers your eyes, I'm sorry, it's going to bother mine too. I still could redo that too. All I'd have to do is unravel that too, and I think if I shifted it over literally just one stitch, it would look a lot better. But I don't feel like it, so. I think the only other thing then I'm going to do to this blanket is put, like I said, a single row of reverse single crochet around the whole thing, which will take me a minute. And I'll probably just speed run through that and voice over it. My daughter's getting water for the sheep. It's that time of year where we have to fill it up in the tub because obviously our outdoor spigots are off. So we fill up water for the sheep in the tub. The other thing too, and maybe I'll show you while I'm here. See how these little tails stick out and stuff? Sometimes I trim those back, but sometimes you get like this and you're like, you know, and yes, you can trim those too. But I want to show you really quick while I have this like this, how I use the felting needle to fix stuff like that so that it doesn't unravel and it doesn't annoy me. Let me go get my needle. This has become basically an essential tool in my kit of crochet stuff, apparently including a no Jesus, no peace card tract. But I like keeping one of these nearby. This actually was sitting in my I don't even have to tuck this in here, but I'm going to anyways. I usually keep this on my stand right there, just to stab the air. But lately I've been keeping it in my bag because I've been using it more. So I have another one somewhere, but you literally just, and by the way, my fingers are doing this, so I'm not stabbing myself. But you want to just, right now I've got my hand like this, so I've got more space because I can't really see very well. And I'm just going to, just don't stab yourself. But honestly, I'm pretty much done. Like those few pokes, it works with the acrylic, not just wool. So there we go. That's good. I think that's about all it takes. So like anytime I have now that was a small spot like this, I don't worry about that. I could, but I'm not worried about it. But like any substantial areas or areas where it's like frustrating or annoying or it's getting bad, that's my favorite way to deal with it, is to just felt it in. It's better when you actually have a sponge, a brush, or something you can put underneath to support it so it's not against you, something or stabbing your fingers. So just disclaimer, don't do what I did exactly. Find something to put underneath because you will stab yourself if you try to put your hand underneath and you can't see your hand. So I know people are going to be like, don't do that, that's so stupid and dangerous. It is stupid and dangerous, so don't do it. I guess I'm going to put a border on this thing and then I'll show you my blanket. So, but this is officially all of the colors I have left. These were full skeins, of course. I'm curious. I almost want to weigh them to see what's left. But you can see I clearly used a lot of, I think, honestly, if like just from looking at it, but I could weigh them to find out. It looks like I used the most of 30s, 60s, and 50s. Wait, that's 70s. Sorry, so 2022, my green was 60s. And this year, it's 70s, but I still keep thinking, oh, you know what? I use a lot of 80s too. I mean, obviously, I definitely use mostly between 30s and 80s, but like, this one is, the 70s is particularly empty, the 60s is particularly empty, and so is the 30s. 40s kind of is, 50s kind of is, like these two are very close, but like these are the most used, which is interesting because I think the last several years I've used more 80s than anything, so it almost seems like we had a cooler year this year. My bird is catcalling me. But here's what's left of my border yarn, keeping in mind that this is my third skein. I did not use all 3 skeins. I had already used a substantial portion of my first skein for another project. I forget what I was making, to be honest. So I finished off that ball, and then I used a whole nother one of these, and then I had just started tapping into this basically like, I mean, maybe, what, a couple weeks ago, I think, I started using this one. So I'm going to continue using this to finish the border. I think I might actually, because of the nature of these joins, I think I might actually go around once in a regular single crochet and then reverse single crochet so that the border looks a little bit cleaner, because I think otherwise it's going to be weird. So I think what's working for me that I like for the border is that in the side of each square I'm working once into the joining corner. You are noisy. I should actually just show you what I'm doing. But yeah, I'll just show you what I'm doing so that you can see what I'm doing. So I just moved my stand temporarily so I can show you what I mean. So like for each side of the square, hi Dewey, I'm going into that space, and then I'm going into the next 2 stitches, which I'm doing this entirely looking through my phone, which is so weird. And then instead of going into this space and then this stitch, I'm just going in here twice and skipping that one. So I'm going in here twice, skipping that one and going into the next one. Because this is how I crochet. I just crochet by doing whatever I think looks nice. Into the next stitch. And then again, instead of doing this space and then this stitch, I'm just going into the space twice and skipping that stitch. So then I'm just going to go into here. And then I'm back into the corner again. And then I repeat. I'm into the corner, into the next 2 stitches, which that one's kind of squished because that's my end stitch. Dewey is on my butt. Dude. And then into here twice. Did I just scoop up? I did. Whoops. Let's try this again without scooping up the color. There we go. It's really hard to do things just looking through your phone. Skip that stitch and go into this one. Oh my god, Dewey's on my phone. Dewey. And then into this stitch. Hi, buddy. Into this space twice instead of into the next stitch. Skip that next stitch, and then I've got this 1 stitch before the last corner. And then repeat, if that makes sense. And I think that looks really sharp. Your butt's in the way, sir. You know what? Fine, sit there. Put your butt in the way. That's not okay, actually, because now it's focusing on you. Come on. There you go. There's Dewey. Say hi, Dewey.
Yeah, you don't need me to tell you how you're wrong, but as I see things, I call them on the floor. You think I'm foolish, 'cause I do the same things, but I say no. I'm not trying to hurt you. It's only for your good. I'm better than you at fixing your problems. I've got a chapter and verse, so I can tear you down just that much worse. I'm a hypocrite. I'm coming for your spec, and I'll tear it out as I tear you down. I'm a hypocrite. Behind a smiling shroud, I am sweaty and scowling inside. Yeah, I've read the Bible more times than you could count. It's like it's pages. I'm whirling around my mind. You want my knowledge, but you won't admit you're in need of rain. words in your mind from the Spirit. You're going to be blessed if you do it, not just hear it. If you don't, then it's like you built your house on the sand. The rain comes down, the floods come up and wipe your house off the land. You've lost all your flavor, there's nothing left to savor. Hating everybody instead of trying to love your neighbor. Putting yourself first is putting your flame under a basket. Now it's burning down the house and leaving only a casket of the old man. Time to take a stand, put God first, reverse your plan. Don't look down on fellow man, give glory to the Lord again. And all of this hypocrisy's gotta come to an end. No more keeping score and fighting for it. No more casting doubt on others' rewards. No more counting clout and acting out. Now I'm gonna let you speak and see where you at about. I'm sick of it. I'm throwing down this mask and I'm crying aloud as I rip the slug out. I'm sick of it. I'm falling down to my knees. I've been off them for far too long.
Last year I didn't
All right. And to grab the scissors precariously balancing over my head. Can you give me my needle over there?
What needle?
It's magnetized to the side of my file cabinet.
No,
It's where I keep it so I don't lose it.
I have one the same size for mine.
It's my perfect favorite size to use.
I like
Because
it.
it's small enough that I'm a little more agile with it. And it holds the yarn
It's
well.
nice because thin enough it can actually like pierce through like
Stuff.
yarn and stuff
Yep.
easily, so you can actually like weave it into stuff better
Yep.
without just fall back out or something. Hey Dewey, you found snacks! You found snacks! Don't you want to be with mommy? No, we're like not gonna get eaten by a cat.
Whew. It's chilly. So here's my blanket. The side that I started with that has been more worn and is softer lays nicer, but then this end is kind of lettucey looking along the edges. And part of that's just because the stitches and like everything hasn't had a time to like stretch and relax. So as it stretches and relaxes, it won't be so lettucey looking. But it's basically the size of a throw blanket. It's definitely larger than my other blankets. It's probably comparable in size to the French square blanket, but it's definitely denser. The French square blanket was very lacy. This is much denser, and it's nice. It's super pretty. It's exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I wanted. And I am glad it's done because I'm done. Let me give you a closer look. So there's the year. Hey, it matches my my Sherpa Derpa. That's what we call these Sherpa blankets. We call them Sherpa Derpas. That's my husband's fault. It's great. So you can see all the pretty colors. I love this color combo. And I love that one. And I love that. Oh, I keep yawning. I'm so tired. There's no way I'm making it to midnight tonight. I'm going to be ringing in the new year rested. But just look at that. It's just amazing. Oh, I love it. This turned out exactly as I was hoping it would. And I the borders and everything, and it's just join as you go. So no sewing. Just so annoying. So annoying. Yeah, I'll stop. So yeah, this is my crochet temperature blanket for 2025. And if you made it this far in the video, honestly, I'm kind of impressed. And thank you so much for watching, because it means a lot to me. I mean, every minute that you watch is a little bit more that I get for making these videos. And it really helps us out, considering things have been especially terrible lately. And I am so glad that this is finally finished. It really did turn out exactly as I was hoping it would. So if I have an idea or a plan for 2026, y'all will be some of the first to know. I guess I have a whole, like, what, 9 hours to think of it. I don't know. What time is it? 2:50. Hey, I was almost spot on. I've got a whole 9 hours and 10 minutes before next year. I really don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to do. I'll probably just start making another blanket again. I don't know what. But if I think of something, or if whatever I decide I'm going to do, if it's different than what I've done before, I'll be sharing that pattern here because that's what I do. This will make a really cool background. Should like hang this up somewhere instead of using it like a blanket. Should just drape it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a blessed and a wonderful new year. Happy New Year. May 2026 bring you all of the wonderful things that 2025 failed to bring you. And may 2026 not have all those horrible things that 2025 had. I don't know what they are. Whatever they are, they can stay in 2025. God bless. Have a wonderful, wonderful new year.